In other news tonight, Austin police are preparing for possibly more anti-ICE protests this weekend after a tense confrontation with demonstrators last night.
APD and DPS arrested more than a dozen protesters when their march turned disorderly. 4 officers were hurt. KVUE's Isabella Basco is live at the state capitol, where more protesters are expected to gather Saturday. Isabella, what are police telling you?
Well, Darrenisha, for officers at APD, the nature of these protests are bringing back memories from 2020, according to the Austin Police Association president. Now, he says it was stressful back then, but here's how it's burdening them now. 3 officers struck by rocks, an officer suffering a shoulder injury, and protesters spitting on them. It's a glimpse of the conditions Austin police officers faced during anti-ICE protests Monday night. Tensions escalated when the J.J. Pickle Federal Building got vandalized and some protesters threw scooters and barricades into roadways.
It's extremely demoralizing for officers to have to deal with all of that when we're really trying to just keep our city safe and to keep the peace.
Michael Bullock is the president of the Austin Police Association. Bullock says after the 2020 police brutality protests, the police department saw a mass exodus of officers due to the level of confrontation happening towards law enforcement.
I do have concerns that this type of activity is reminiscent of that, and it can have a negative impact on our recruiting and retention abilities.
The Austin Police Department still has more than 300 vacancies. Retired police officer Jerry Staten understands the exhaustion that comes from working protests that turn violent.
It's just another stress on an already overstressed system. It's just another, if you will, it's almost a slap in the face.
With more than a dozen protesters arrested Monday night, the department is now gearing up for an increased police presence this weekend with possible additional protests.
There's a lot of concerns with a lot of officers that if this isn't handled the right way, it's going to impact their decision whether they stay or they leave this department.
And with the possible protest this weekend, Bullock says that their resources are stretched thin. Some positions have to be filled via overtime, and they don't have the staffing that they did back in 2020, according to him. Live near the Capitol tonight, Isabella Basco for KVUE News.